Hello everyone. Welcome to Machine Coding Interview. I am Sanjay and in this course we will discuss the code flow of hotel management system. So first we will understand the directory structure. So the first two directories are related to setting. This idea directory contains IntelliJ idea related settings and then the Maven directory contains the Maven related settings. Then we have the diagram directory. In the diagram, we have three diagrams. First is hotel management, so which contains the interface of the hotel management. Second is the class diagram of hotel management, which has the class diagram that we discussed in the previous class. And then the use case diagram. This also we have discussed in the previous class. Then our main code flow happens in the source directory. So in the source, in the main, in Java and in this package, we have all our code related stuff. So the first directory is config directory. So config directory contains the Spring configuration related stuff. So it has the scheduling related stuff that I'll explain later in this chapter. Then we have the controllers directory. So we have all the controllers like booking controller, customer controller, hotel controller, notification controller, receptionist controller, and room controller. After then we have the DTOs. So the DTOs are used for the mapping from the UI or upstream to the server and from the server to the downstream. So this is used for the mapping. Then we have the enums directory, which contains all the enumerations for the hotel management application. So we have the amenity, availability class, and then booking status, then cleaning status, housekeeping activity, payment mode, payment status, and room type. Then we will go to events directory. So in the events directory, we have three main files. First file is the change event. Okay, so on this change event, the event listener will be triggered. So this is the event, and these two are listeners which will be executed when this event will be published by the application. Then we have the exceptions. So we have the class exception, we have the invalid booking exception, invalid customer exception, invalid hotel exception, no SMS notification exception, no SMS, no email notification exception, and room not found exception. Then in the factories, we have all the factories. So factories are used for creating the object. So by doing this, we are using factory design pattern here. So this is used for keeping our code clean so that all the instantiation will be happen here in factories only. There should be no place in our application where any object is created other than these factories. So this is the address factory which will create address, then bills factory which will create bill, then booking factory which will create the booking object, whether that's a room booking or a normal booking. Then we have the customer factory which will create the customer object, then hotel factory which will create the hotel, then notification factory which will create email notification and SMS notification, then the receptionist factory which will create the receptionist of hotel, then the room factory which will create the room. After the factories we have models. So here we have all the models that we have created in a class diagram. So in a class diagram, whatever classes we create, that will come inside this folder. So we will discuss one by one of all these models in the later section of this chapter. Then we have the registry directory. So here we are following the registry design pattern. So here we have created the strategy registry. It means whatever strategies we have, we are registering those strategy in our registry map. And then by using the get instance, we will get the instance of the registry, and then from there we will get the strategy. So inside the registry design pattern, we also use the singleton design pattern. So here what we are doing, we are simply checking if the instance is null or not. If the instance is null, then we are locking this code block, and then again we are checking if the instance is null or not. So if the instance is null, then only we are creating the strategy registry. So by using the get instance, no matter we are using multi-threading or not, it will simply give us one instance of the strategy registry. And then from that strategy registry, we can get the strategy object by passing any of this parameter. Then we have this repository directory. So in this repositories directory, we have all the repositories which are used for interacting with the database. So in the address repository, we will be interacting with the address table. In the bill repository, we will be interacting with the bill table. In the booking repository, we will be interacting with the booking table, and so on. Then we have the services. So in the services, we have this service interfaces here. Okay. So for all the controllers, we have the respective service here, and these services are the interfaces. The implementation of these services is inside this IMPL directory. Then we have the strategies. So here we are following the strategy design pattern. So here we can see that we are using the peak season bill calculation strategy, normal bill calculation strategy, discounted bill calculation strategy. So this all are the concrete classes which are using this abstract class, which is the bill calculation strategy. Okay. And then we have this hotel management system application, which is the entry point of our application. This is by default created by the Spring class. And then we have the queries. So let's see what's there in the query. So I think this is not required and we can delete it. Okay. Then we have the resources directory. In the resources directory, we have the static directory and template directory, but the main important file, which is application.properties file. So in the application.properties file, we have all the properties which are required for our application to run. So the first is Spring application name. So our application name is Hotel Management System. Then the bill calculation strategy is normal bill calculation strategy. The Spring Data Hibernate DDL auto is create. Means whenever we run the application, it will create a new database and then it will work on that database. Now Spring Data Source URL tells the database URL of our application. So it is using the JDBC driver for the Postgres database, and this is our host where this database is stored. The username is Postgres and password is Sanjay. And this static and templates don't contain anything. Either we can delete it or we can keep it like this. It doesn't matter right now. Just understand that this static contains the static files like JavaScript file or some images, and template contains some kind of email templates if you are using to send it to our customers. Then in the test directory, we have everything related to test. So in the test, we have Java, and inside Java, we have the package com stupid designer machine coding and base test. So in the base test, we have all the object creation related stuff like creating the hotel, creating hotel room, multiple rooms, then create bookings, then register customer. So this all is used for creating the objects in the system, and then we can actually test the application. So this is for testing our application. Here we have some set of tests which is used for testing our application, like test add hotel, whether our hotel adding is performing correctly or not. Test add room, whether we can add rooms in our system or not. So here we have some set of tests which we have got from the requirement. Okay, and if all the tests are passing, it means our application is working perfectly. Then we have the resources directory, and here also we have the same application.properties file. So we have just changed one thing here. We are using the test database for running the test cases. And after run, all these directories and files like target directory, git, ignore, help md are created by the Spring framework. So we should not be concerned about any of this. Just one important file we have is pom.xml, which has all the dependencies. So whatever dependencies are needed for our application, we have added the dependency. Like for getters and setters, we are using the Lombok framework. Okay. For Postgres, we are using the PostgreSQL. For testing our application, we are using Spring Boot starter test. So all the dependency have been added here. Then in the README file, we have all the requirements. Okay. So we have added the requirements here. And in the highlights is very important for our application, where we are telling that what is new that you are going to learn in this application. So in this application, you will be learning how to run a cron job, how to use transactional annotation, how to use custom JPA queries, how to show queries in JPA, and the annotations like configuration, enable scheduling, value, and post construct. And then we are showing the diagrams, and here we have the evaluation criteria, like what is the evaluation criteria based on which we will evaluate our application. And after then, there are some assignments that you should do after completing this module. So yeah, that's the directory structure of hotel management system. We will discuss all the controllers one by one. We will discuss the configuration directory now. So in the configs directory, we have all the configuration which is related to this hotel management system application. So we have created a Spring config file where we have the configuration annotation and enable scheduling. So this configuration annotation is required for scheduling the cron job. So since we are going to use cron job in our application, we need this enable scheduling annotation. Okay, so everything which is related to configuration we can create in this, we can add those configuration in this file. Okay, now why do we need cron job in our application? So all the customers of our application, if they have booked and if their booking is near, so just one day prior we want to send them the notification that dear customer, you are checking for this booking ID is tomorrow. So this notification will be sent to the customer via SMS or via email. So for that we have created a cron job. Now for this cron job we need this booking repository, this is not required, and we need this application event publisher. So application event publisher is provided by the Spring framework for publishing the event. Okay, then we have created a method with the schedule annotation. So what does it mean? So we have used schedule annotation which tells the application that this method will run on this time. Now what is this time? So this is the second, means 0 second it will run on, this is the minute and this is hour, means it will run on 8 a.m. 8 hours 0 minute and 0 second. Now this shows that this will run every day, this shows that this will run every month. Now this question mark tells that we don't care about on what day of the week it will run. So this is for the day of the week. So question mark simply we don't care on which day of week this is going to run. And then on which time zone this method will run. So this will run on the Asia Kolkata 8 a.m. Okay. Now what's there in this method? So we are sending the booking notification. So for that we are getting all the bookings whose status is booked. Then we are iterating all of them one by one, and then we are checking if the booking check-in date is just one day prior to the actual booking, then we will send this notification to the customer. First we are creating the message and then we are publishing this event. Now how this event will be published? Whenever this time comes, this application will publish this event. Now what is this event? So this event has the booking and message, and the SMS and email will be triggered. I will explain now about how this event works in the events directory. Okay, because this follows the observer design pattern. So for now just understand that on this date and time this event will be triggered via SMS and email. So now we will understand the events directory. So in the events we have one event which is the booking status update change event. Means whenever there is booking status update change, then this event will be triggered. So for creating any event we must extend the application event, and this application event is provided by the Spring framework. So we have created this class, and then this class will be using the booking and message. So after this event is published by our application, then this event listeners will be called. So we have the email notification listener which is using this notification factory and notification repository. So the method which needs to be triggered on publishing any event must be annotated by the event listener. Okay, and then we are getting this event. From this event we are getting the booking and message, and then we are creating the notification object via the notification factory. Once we have got the notification object, we are saving this object and we are printing this message. So in real, if you are using the email notification, then you need email configurations for sending email to a particular person. So since that is not possible in a machine coding interview, you can just demonstrate here by saving the notification object and printing that in the console. In the same way, we have the SMS notification listener, and in the SMS notification listener also we are doing the same thing. We are just annotating the method by the event listener, and then we are getting the booking and message. We are creating the SMS notification object, we are saving it, and then we are printing what message is triggered to the customer. Okay, so this event listeners will be performed when the event is published. But how this event is published? So whenever there is any change in booking status, then this event will be published. Okay, whenever our application is publishing this event, then this event listener will be triggered. So the first thing is in the cron job. So in the cron job, we are using this application event publisher and publishing the event. So every day this events will be published and this event listener will be triggered, SMS and email event notification listeners, so they will be triggered. The second case is in the services, in the booking service IMPL, you can see whenever the customer is paying the bill, at that time we are publishing this event. Okay, that payment successful for booking with the amount. So this message will be delivered to the customer by this booking status update change event. So we are publishing this event, and on publish of this event, these two listeners will be kicked on. Okay, so this is a great example of the observer design pattern. Now in the factory directory, we have all the factories for creating the object. So for creating the address, we are using the address factory. In the address factory, we have created this method which is taking all these parameters for creating the address, and then it's creating the object and it is returning the address. In the same way, we are creating the bills by using the bills factory. We are creating the booking factory from the room with guest DTO and room object. And then we are creating the room. On the same way, we are creating the room booking object by create room booking method, and we are creating the booking object by create booking method. Here we are creating the customer object by using the customer factory. So in the customer factory, we have this create customer method which is taking this object and setting all the properties from this object with the real customer object. Then in the hotels factory, we are creating the hotel object by passing the name. In the notifications factory, we are creating the notification, email notification and the SMS notification object from the booking and message. We are creating the receptionist by using the receptionist factory. Okay, here we are using the create method, and then we are getting all the parameters of receptionist and creating the receptionist object. In the room factory, we are creating a room by getting the room number, room type and price, and then we are just setting its status to available and then creating the room. So this all factories are used for creating the object. So this is using the factory design pattern. This is a good design pattern which allows us for testing the object creation. So if we don't use this design pattern, then our application will be very messy and we will not be using single responsibility principle. By using this application, we are using single responsibility principle, because in any service, if we are creating a room and if we are creating a booking for that, it means that is not following single responsibility principle. There we should just use the factories and delegate the task of creation to these factory methods. So this gives us separation of concern, where we are separating the creation logic from the business logic. So in the strategies directory, we have all the files which are related for the strategy design pattern for our application. So here we have simply created a strategy interface. We don't have any method here. This is just for marking any interface as a strategy interface. So here we have this bill calculation strategy which is marked by the strategy interface. And in the bill calculation strategy, we have these properties: breakfast prices 100, lunch prices 200 and dinner prices 300 for the hotel. And then we have this abstract method calculate bill. Now this strategy, bill calculation strategy, is extended by these three classes: discounted bill calculation strategy, where we are just returning the calculate bill as 0. Normal bill calculation strategy, so we have this normal billing calculation strategy, okay, where if the breakfast included, then the price will be price equal to price plus breakfast. If the lunch is included, then we are adding the lunch price. If the dinner is included, then we are adding the dinner price. And the third strategy, peak season bill calculation strategy, we are returning 0, but you can add on your own logic. Okay, this is not the valid implementation. Based on the peak season, whatever values you want to put here for the lunch, dinner and breakfast, you can put. And then we will see how these strategies are used. So we are using this strategy by using the registry design pattern. So in the registry directory, we have the strategy registry. So here you can see that we are using the registry map. So here we have a map, registry map of string and strategy. Okay. So you might be thinking why we have used strategy there in this strategy directory. So this is because we are using the strategy map. So let's say we are using multiple kinds of strategies in the strategy directory. So those strategies can be easily used in this map. So in the constructor, we are creating the map and then we are putting the registries. Like for normal bill calculation strategy, we are using normal bill calculation strategy object. For peak season bill calculation strategy, we are using peak season bill calculation strategy object. We will get the strategy registry object by using this get instance method, and on that we will apply the get strategy by passing the strategy property. So this will be more clear when we are calculating bill. Like let's open this service where we are using this. So let's find this service. Okay. So inside the booking service, you can see that we are using the bill calculation strategy. Okay. And then once the object is created, here you can see this post construct annotation. So this post construct annotation is called when the object is constructed. So after the object is constructed, we are calling the strategy registry get instance method, where we are calling the get strategy method. So in this get strategy method, we are passing the bill strategy key. And what is the bill strategy key? Bill strategy key is this. Okay. We will check this in the application.properties. So here you can see that bill calculation strategy is normal bill calculation strategy. So in this application, we are using normal bill calculation strategy. And then this bill calculation strategy will be the normal bill calculation strategy. Once we have got this bill calculation strategy, we will calculate the bill by this statement. Bill calculation strategy, calculate bill, which will take the booking and calculate the bill amount. So this is how we have used strategy in our application. For other logic also, you can use this application. Now this is the most important design pattern which gives us flexibility to extend our application, and you can choose one algorithm from a variety of algorithm. Like we have used the normal bill calculation strategy, peak season bill calculation strategy. So just use the strategy that you want in the application property and it will choose that strategy and then calculate bill. So yeah, that's it from this strategy design pattern. Now we will understand the models directory. So this model directory represents the set of classes which were displayed in the class diagram. So first we will see address. Okay. So address has the entity annotation, getter and setter annotation. Entity is used for creating the table in the database, and getter and setter annotations are used for creating the getter and setter methods for this class. So this class address has these 5 properties: address, city, state, country and zip code. This getter and setter annotations provide the getter and setter methods for these properties, like get state, set state, get city, set city. But apart from these 5 properties, we are also extending the base model. So what is there in the base model? The base model is the mapped superclass, which means there will be no separate table created for this class. But whoever extends this base model will be having this attribute. We will be getting ID field which has the generation type as identity. It means whatever database we are using, it will be using the next value for that field. Next value for that field. For long it will be taking 1 and then 2 and then 3 and so on. Then we have the created date annotation. So this created annotation works only if we are using the auditing entity listener. Okay, what do you mean by that? So it means we don't have to supply the values in created at, and Spring framework automatically insert values for the created at, and the same thing will happen for last modified at. So whenever we are updating any record, the updated date field will be populated with the current date time. So these 3 fields will work only if we have used the JPA auditing in our application. So if you will go to our application file, so here you can see we have enabled JPA auditing annotation. So once this is there, then we can use these 2 annotations, created date and last modified date. So after the base model, we have the admin class. In admin class, we have password, email, and phone, which is extending the user class. Okay, so in user class you can see that this is an abstract class which has the table name as user. So it will create a table called users which has the username, first name, and last name. Okay, you can, if you do not want any table for this user class, then you can just use as mapped superclass. Okay, so here in the admin, we are setting it as entity and it will take all the properties from the user. So apart from password, email, and phone, it will be having the username, first name, and last name. I think we can use mapped superclass for this application because this user table will not be required in our application. We will be just using the admin, customer, and the receptionist. Then we have the bill class. Okay, and in the bill class we are extending the base model. It means it will be getting id, created date, and updated date. Apart from that, it will be having the amount paid at, and payment mode and payment status. Payment mode and payment status are the enumerations. So we are using the cash, credit, and UPI in payment mode, and in the payment status we are using the unpaid, paid, failed, and refunded status. Then we have the booking class, and this booking class is having the booking date, check-in date, check-out date, cancel date, breakfast included or not, lunch included, dinner included. Then it has a relationship with the room booking. Means one booking can have multiple room booking. Now we are using the fetch type as eager. It means whenever we are accessing the booking object, then all the room bookings will be also be fetched. So if so for this application, I think whenever we are accessing booking, we also want to see which rooms are there in that booking. That's why I have used the page type as eager. Then there is many to one relationship with the customer. It means one customer can have multiple bookings. Then we have the booking status, which shows what is the status of this booking. So we have the booked status, check-in status, check-out status, cancelled, and initiated status. The next property is bill. So one booking will be having only one bill. And what do you have in bill? Bill have the amount, the paid at, payment mode, and payment status. Then we have the email notification. So email notification is extending the notification object. So here in notification we have the message and the booking. Means for one booking there can be multiple notification. Now why do we have multiple notifications for one booking? Because whenever we are updating the status of the booking, then we are triggering the publisher events. Okay, so whenever any event is published, then we are sending the notification. So one booking will be having multiple notifications when the booking is cancelled, when the booking is checked in status, when the booking is in checked out status, or when the booking is in booked status. So on this 4 to 5 status, we will be sending email notification and SMS notification. So we have covered the email notification, okay, which will be having only email with this property, and then the same we have for the SMS notification. Okay, and after that we have the hotel. Hotel has a name, hotel has one address, and hotel have many rooms. Here also we are using fetch type as eager because whenever we are accessing hotel object, we want to see the rooms in it. Okay, then we have the housekeeper. Housekeeper has only name, but it is extending the user. It means apart from the phone number, he will be getting the username, first name, and last name properties from the user class. Then we have the housekeeping object. Housekeeping object has at, means when the housekeeping was done. It has the many to one relationship with housekeeper. Means housekeeper can do multiple housekeeping tasks. Okay, if you want, we can change it to many relationship, because for cleaning purpose, if you want to send two housekeepers in the same housekeeping task, then this can be many to many, but for now I have set it as many to one. Okay, then the next property is room. So we have many to one relationship here because one room can have multiple housekeeping tasks. One may be cleaning the bed sheet, one may be cleaning the floor, one may be cleaning the table, one may be sanitizing the room, one may be cleaning the bathroom. So this all task maybe belong to one room, and that's why we have many to one relationship here. But we don't have many to many relationship. The main reason is one housekeeping task cannot be belong to multiple rooms. Means cleaning of this room will belong to cleaning of this room only. Cleaning of this room may not be belong to multiple rooms. If you want, you can also create the status, okay, housekeeping status. But I think for this application, this housekeeping class is enough. Then we have the notification class, which is used for sending the notification, that we have also extended in email notification and SMS notification. In the receptionist class, we have the password, email and phone number, and other than that we have the address. Okay, apart from that we have the three properties of user. So username, first name and last name. So each user and each receptionist will be having only one address in our application. That's why I've used one to one relationship. Then in the room class, we have the room number, we have the room type, we have the availability status, cleaning status, and then we have the list of amenities. What can be the list of amenities? We can check it. So in the room we can have Wi-Fi, we can have TV, we can have AC. In large hotels, we also get the swimming pool, we also get the gym and spa. But this list of amenities can also belong to the hotel. So if you want the amenities in the hotel, then you can add the hotel amenity. You can create a new enum which may be hotel amenity and which will include the swimming pool, gym, spa and the other amenities. So we are using element collection because for one room we want to have multiple amenities. Okay, so if the enums are in a list, then we always have to use the element collection annotation which targets the amenity class. Okay, and this enumerated annotation is used for specifying what value we want to store in the database. Do you want to store the index of the amenity or we want to store the text of the amenity? Okay, so we want to store the text of amenity because storing the index of the enum class might corrupt our database when we remove or insert any enum value in between of the amenities. Then we have the price value, then we have the price of a room, then we have the list of housekeeping. Okay, so here we have specified many to many relationship because for one room we want to have multiple housekeeping, but here we have specified it many to one. This I think it should be one to many. Why one to many? Because in our application we want one room to have the multiple housekeeping tasks, and that's why we have added many to one relationship here. Okay, for housekeeping we have many to one rooms. Then we are overriding equals and hash code method. So why we are overriding equals and hash code method? Because whenever we want to compare the room object or whenever we want to check whether this room is available in the list or set, then we have to give the separate implementation of equals method. Okay, otherwise if we don't override the equals method here, then what will happen? It will just check the reference of the object. So let's take an example. Let's say we have room 1 equal to new room. Okay, and here the room number is 101. The second object room 2 new room is also 101. So in that case, what will happen if we don't provide any implementation to equals method? It will simply say that R1 reference variable and R2 reference variable are different. Okay, and it will return R1 equals R2 as false because the reference variables are different, means they are pointing to the different memory location. But we do not want that, right? We want to check the rooms by using their room number. So if in a set we have lots of rooms 101, 102, 103, and if we are creating a new object with 101 and we want to check whether that new object means the new room is available in that set or not, we want to compare it by using the number only, and that's why we are providing an implementation to equals method. So here you can see that if these two objects are equal, then this should always return true. Else if one object is null or this two object class is different, then we are returning false, or else we are just checking their room number. If their room number is same, then the object is same. If the room number is not same, then object is not same. And why we are providing implementation to hash code? Because every time we are updating our equals method, or every time we are overriding the equals method, we always need to update the hash code method. Hash code method is used for finding the correct object. Hash code method is used for finding the object in the hash map or hash set. Okay, it will calculate the hash value from the room number, and it will find the exact bucket where our object is stored. Okay, and that's why we are overriding the hash code method, so that it will give us the correct object. Then we have the room booking class. So this is used for booking of a room. Okay, where we have the number of adults, number of children, is breakfast included, is lunch included, is dinner included, or the room booking is cancelled. And one room can have multiple room booking because it can be booked multiple times by using any hotel management system. Then we have already covered SMS notification, and we have already covered the user. So now we will understand the controllers. So in the controllers directory, first we will see the booking controller. So in the booking controller, we have this REST controller annotation, which is used for making this controller as REST controller. Then the request mapping is starting with /bookings, means all the REST endpoint URL for the booking controller will start from the /bookings. Then we are using booking service in the booking controller for all the business logic of booking. Then we are using the auto add annotation for injecting this booking service in this booking controller. Then our first method is post mapping, and we don't have any URL here. It means it will be used for creating the booking. So the method name is book rooms. So here we are getting this parameter from the UI. So let's open this. So what do we have here? We have the customer ID, check-in date, check-out date, and list of rooms. Now let's see what is there in the room with guest details. So we have the room ID, number of adults, number of children, breakfast included, lunch included, dinner included. Means if any customer wants to include the breakfast, lunch, or dinner, then these properties will be used. So we have got these parameters: customer ID, room, check-in date, and check-out date. And these parameters will be then used for creating the booking for a room. So we will call the booking service dot book rooms here. So in the booking service dot book rooms, let's see what's inside. What's the definition for this? So here first we are creating the booking by using the booking factory. So in the booking factory, we have this create booking method, and here we are creating the booking object and setting the booking status as initiated. After the booking object is created, then we will create the booking for each room. So for that, what we are doing, in the book rooms request DTO, we are getting all the rooms one by one. Then we are getting the room by using the room repository from the room ID. We have got the room. Now what we will do, we will create a booking for that room. So in the booking factory, we are using this method for creating a room booking, which will take room with guest DTO and the room parameter and the room object. So just open this. So here we are creating a room booking. So we are using this line for creating the object, and then we are setting all the parameters that we are getting from the UI. So the room booking object is created, and now we will save this room booking object in the booking, because in one booking there may be multiple room booking object. Okay, so we are getting all the room bookings. So we are getting the array list of room bookings, and there we are adding the current room booking. So whatever room bookings we are getting from this UI, okay, from this property rooms, we will be creating a room booking object for that rooms property. So this you can understand like this: when you open any hotel booking website, you choose some rooms. Let's say if two families are going for a vacation, they will be choosing two rooms for two people and maybe for one or two child. Okay, they might choose breakfast included, lunch included, and dinner included. So all this property will come here, and from those properties, first we will find the room. Okay, because in the UI we have checked the room, right? We have taken two rooms, so we will get the rooms from the room ID. then we will create the room booking for those rooms, and then in the main object, in the parent booking object, we will add those room bookings. So by doing this, we are creating the booking here. Okay, so by doing this, we are creating the booking object here and setting the room booking objects inside that. After then, we will just set the customer by finding the customer ID. So just note one thing here. If a customer is a logged in customer, then we will be using either a session variable or maybe some authentication principal object here. Okay, right now, since we are not using session and I have not showed you how the authentication works in the system, we are just using the customer ID from the UI side. But that is an incorrect approach. I will tell you the correct approach by using the OTP authentication or OAuth2 authentication in the coming videos. So just for now, we will take the customer ID or the user ID from the client side. So we are setting the booking, we are setting the customer in the booking object. Then we are setting the check-in date and check-out date from the request. Once we have got the booking, we will create the bill object for this booking. So bill object will be created before the payment object, because once the bill is created, then we will do the payment. This bill is associated with the booking object. So first we will get the bill amount. So for getting the bill amount, we are getting the strategy. So in this service, we are using the bill calculation strategy, and this bill calculation strategy will come from the registry property. And in this registry property, if we open get instance, then we will see that we have this normal bill calculation strategy and we have this peak session bill calculation strategy. Now which strategy we are using? So for that, we need to check our application properties, because in application properties we have defined that which strategy we are going to use. So in application properties, you can see we are using bill calculation strategy equal to normal bill calculation strategy. So for getting the bill amount, we are using normal bill calculation strategy. Okay, so in the application properties, we can see we are using this normal bill calculation strategy. And what is there in the registry in the normal bill calculation strategy? In the normal bill calculation strategy, we are using new normal bill calculation strategy object. So in this normal bill calculation strategy, we have this method that you are using for calculating bill. So what we are doing here, we are getting the booking object, and in that booking object, first the price is 0. Okay, then for each of the room booking in that booking object, we are taking the room booking object and then we are adding the price. Okay, so each room has its own price. Okay, maybe room is of 2000 rupees or 3000 rupees, so we will add those 2000 rupees in the price. Then if the customer has checked breakfast, so for breakfast we have the different values, maybe 200 or 300. You can just check in the interface. So let me show you that. Here in bill calculation strategy, you can see the breakfast price is 100, lunch price is 200 and dinner price is 300. Okay, so the room price is 2000 rupees and then breakfast is 100, so it will be 2100. If the lunch is included, then it will be 2100 plus 200 means 2300. And if the customer has chosen the dinner also, then 2300 plus 300 for the dinner price. So the total bill for one room, it is 2300. And if the customer has chosen 2 or 3 rooms, then all the prices for the room, their breakfast, their lunch and their dinner will be calculated and totaled here. So after we have got the total, we will come here and get the bill amount, and then we are going to create the bill and then we will save the bill. Okay, so once we have saved the bill, so just see one thing, in the create bill we are using bill factory for creating the bill. So in the create bill method, we are just creating a bill object and setting the bill amount. So once we have set the bill amount, we are going to save the booking object, and then we will be returning the response to the customer by using get book rooms response DTO, which is taking the booking object, and after it takes the booking object, it is creating book rooms response DTO with this property, where it will get the booking ID from the booking object, total amount, check-in date and check-out date. And After that, it will get the room booking with guest detail, where it will get the room ID, number of adults, children, breakfast included, dinner included. So it will be kind of a complex JSON object which will be returned to the UI. And on the basis of that, it will display its next page of what rooms have chosen and what is the total price for this booking. So after assigning all the properties related to booking in the response, we are going to return from this method. Okay. So we will go to the controller booking service. So we will go to the booking service, and then from here it will go to the booking controller. Okay. So here we have got the book rooms response DTO, and then we are using the response entity where we are sending the HTTP status as OK, and we are sending this body, book rooms response DTO body. And if there is any error, then we are sending the status as internal server error with the body as the exception message, whatever exception we have got. The second method in the booking controller is the bookings.pay. Since our requirements are not too much, we have included the pay in the booking controller only, but the ideal way is to keep this pay method in the payment controller. So right now we are using just put mapping. Okay, put mapping is for updating some resource on the server. So here we are getting this pay bill request DTO, and we are calling the booking service pay bill method. So once we have got this pay bill method, let's open and see the implementation. So we are getting the booking ID from the request. Okay, and from that booking ID we are getting the booking, and from that booking we are getting the bill. If the bill amount is not equal to the payment amount, means customer has done the payment and we have got some payment amount. So if the payment amount is not equal to the booking amount, then we will throw this exception, that amount mismatch. And if there is no issue, in that case we will just set the payment method, we will just set the payment mode, and then we will set the payment status, then we will save the bill, then we will set the booking status as booked, and then we will save the booking object. After we have saved the booking object, then we will simply create the response object from the booking object. So in the response object we are setting the booking ID, we are setting the bill ID, and then we are setting the message that payment successful for the booking with the bill amount. After then, once the booking is completed, we will publish the event. So when we publish this event, these two listeners in the event class, email notification listener and SMS notification event listener, will be triggered, and then they will be sending message to the customer. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are getting the booking and the SMS method. From the event we are getting the booking and the SMS message, and then we are using the factory, notification factory, for creating the notification object. Here we are creating the notification object, setting the message and the booking value for the notification, and then we are saving them in our database. After we have saved them in our database by using notification repository, we are simply printing the message here. But in real world, it should not be printing the message, it should be using some kind of SMS handling platform. Like in my real application, I use mtalk or text local. So you can also use those kind of services which provide sending message to the customer. So here I'm just printing the message that will be triggered once the payment is successful. And email notification listener will also be triggered because it is also annotated with the event listener. And here also we are doing the same thing. We are getting the booking, we are getting the message, then we are creating the email notification object, we are saving it, and then we are printing it. So yeah, this event will be triggered when the application event publisher will publish the event. Okay, you can also see the event. So what is the event here? It is booking status update change event. Actually the booking status here, so you can see that we have changed the status, booking status to booked, and that's why we are calling this event. So if you will see, we are just getting the source, like from where this booking status update has been changed, and what is the booking and what is the message for that. So here you can see that we are using application event class, which is an abstract class and provided by the Spring Framework. So whenever our Spring Framework finds that this event has been published by the application event publisher, then it will trigger the event listeners, and this email notification event listener and SMS event notification listener will be triggered. So once these events are triggered, then we are going to send the response to the client. Okay, so we are sending this payable response DTO. So one more thing we can do here, we can refactor this code. Like we can create a mapper object which will be mapping the booking with the payable response DTO, like we have done in our previous methods. So here we have created one separate method for it, but ideally we should be using a mapper for mapping the response from the model object. Okay, so this is our second method. Now we will understand the third method, which is get mapping. So here we are just getting the booking ID, and then we are extracting the booking ID by using the path variable annotation, and then we are calling the booking service dot get booking. So in the get booking method, let's open this. We are simply calling the booking repository and finding the booking object by using find by ID method. Once you got the booking in the optional wrapper, we are just checking if the booking is empty or not. If it's empty, then we are throwing this exception. Otherwise, we are sending the booking object to the controller. So after we have got the booking object, we are simply returning that in the response entity. And if there is any error, then we are sending the internal server error with the server exception message. The fourth is the booking ID cancel, which is used for cancelling the booking. So here also we are using the put mapping. So we are simply updating the booking status to cancel. So we are getting the booking ID from the path variable, and then we are calling the booking service cancel booking method. So inside this cancel booking method, you can see that we are just getting the booking optional object, and if that is empty, we are throwing the exception. If that is not empty, then we are getting the booking object by booking optional.get, and then we are setting the status to cancelled. Once we have got the booking status, and once we have set the booking status as cancelled, in the bill also we are setting the payment status as refunded. Okay, and then we are saving them in the billing repository. Ideally there should be a refund initiation status, because we have just initiated the payment refund, and once the payment is credited in the customer account, then it should be a refunded status or refund completed status. But since we are not handling the bank account transaction things, we have simply added the dot refunded status, and then we are saving the bill, and then again we are sending notification to the customer. So here also, instead of sending this notification, we can use the same thing. What was that? We can use the application event listener dot publish event, and here in the event what we can do, we can use the booking status, because we are changing the booking status. Okay, and here what is the object? The current object is this, and we are doing it for booking object, and we can write our message here: booking cancelled and bill refunded. Okay, so this event will be triggered, and then we will be saving the booking object. Then we will be saving the booking object and return the booking object to the customer. Okay, but here also you can improve one thing. We are directly returning the booking object, and booking object might be having lots of things. Okay, and it might be connected with lots of other classes also. So it is not advisable to return the booking object directly. We should always create a response DTO, and then that response DTO should be returned to the controller, and from the controller to the client. Okay, then we will come to the booking controller, and here we are getting the booking object, and then we are setting that booking object in the response DTO in the response entity, then we are returning it to the client. Okay, and if there is any error, then we are sending the error message. Then we are using the booking ID checkout, means this is used for checking out the booking. So the flow is exactly same as before. Here, instead of just setting the status as cancelled, we are setting the status as checked out here. Okay, so here you can see the booking status is checked out. Here also you can use the application event publisher and publish the event, because we are just changing the status of booking, and it will trigger the email and SMS notification. So here you can see, once we are checking out, we are doing two things extra. Okay, first we are getting the booking optional, and if the booking optional is a valid booking, then we are getting the booking object, and from that booking object we are getting the room bookings. And what happens when you check out in any hotel? So when you check out in any hotel, the room that you have booked by the booking flow, those rooms will be again available to the customer. So we are getting the rooms from the room booking object and we are setting their availability status as available. Okay, and then we are saving the room repository. And the same thing we are doing for the check-in. So for that also we have created a controller. Okay, and here also we are getting the booking object, and from that booking object what we are doing, we are getting all the room bookings, and once you check in any room, all the room status should be occupied. So we are setting the availability status to occupied, and then we are saving that room, and then we are setting the status of the booking object as checked in, and then we are saving the room. Here also you can use the application event listener for publishing the event. Okay, the next is get bookings by the customer. So here we are getting the customer ID from the controller, and then we are getting the list of bookings, and those list of bookings are if empty, then we will say that no bookings for the customer, and if there are some bookings for the customer, then we will say that this is the list of the bookings which we can return to the UI. So here also we can do the same thing. Instead of this list of booking, we should use the response DTO mapper, and then we should map this list of booking to the response DTO and then return to the client. The next method is send booking reminder. So if manually we want to send the reminder to the customer, then we will use this booking repository dot find status. Here we will get all the bookings whose status is booked, and then we will send the notification to the customer. So instead of using this send notification, you can use the observer pattern and you can use the application event listener. So yeah, that is our booking controller. So you can see the methods. So checkout is covered, check-in is covered. After checking, we have this booking bill, which is covered. I guess let's open this. Have we covered this? Yeah, so we are getting the booking from the booking ID. So this is also covered. The gate mapping, customer ID means get bookings by the customer. So this also we have covered. Okay, so here also we are passing the customer ID, but that is not the ideal way. What is the ideal way? Get the customer ID from the session or the principal object, and from there you should get the bookings by the customer. So there we can write two methods. Okay, one method is for finding all the bookings from the customer ID. So for that this method will work. So let's say if any receptionist want to get all the history of a particular customer, then from the drop down she would choose the customer ID, and then she will click on booking history and she can see the booking history. But the other use case may be, let's say if the logged in user wants to see all his booking, in that case you would not pass the customer ID here, and we would take the customer ID from the session object or the principal object, and from there the customer will get all his bookings. So here in the service layer, instead of getting this from the controller, we would get logged in user dot customer ID, and from that customer ID will be passed here in the booking repository, and then we will get the list of bookings. So yeah, all the methods of booking controller is completed. Now let's understand the customer controller. So in the customer controller, this is starting with slash customers. Okay, and we are using customer service for the business logic. We are injecting this customer service to the customer controller, and then we are registering the customer. So for registering the customer, what do we need? We need the register customer request DTO. So let's see what is there. So we have all the customer related information like user, first name, last name, email ID, password, city, state, country and zip code. Once we have passed all this information, we are using the register customer from the customer service. So here you can open this and you can see that we are using the customer factory. So from the customer factory, we are creating the customer. So in the customer factory, we are creating the object, we are setting all the properties, and then we are creating the address object from the address factory. And after we have got the address object, we are setting the address object in the customer object, and then we are saving the customer object. So that's one method. Okay, after we have got the customer object, we are returning that customer object to the controller. But again, the ideal way is don't return the model object directly to the UI. You should use the response DTO like we have done in the previous sessions. Okay, then the next method is get mapping customer ID. So here we are getting the customer ID from the URL. Then we are passing the customer ID to the get customer method. And here we are simply calling the customer repository find by ID. Okay, so if we have got the customer object, we are returning the customer object, and if we don't get any customer object, then we are throwing the customer not found exception. The next method is hotel controller. So hotel controller is starting from slash hotels, and we are using the hotel service object for the business logic, which we are injecting in the hotel controller. Then we are getting all the hotel properties in add hotel request DTO. What are the properties? We have the name of the hotel, city, state, zip code, and country. Once we have got this information from the UI, we will just use the hotel service dot add hotel. And here we are just using the hotel factory for creating hotel. There we are creating the hotel object and setting the hotel name. Once you have got the hotel object, each hotel will be having some kind of address. So those address will be created by the address factory. Once we have got the address, we are saving that address and we are setting that address to the hotel location. And then we are using hotel repository.save and returning the hotel to the controller. And the next method is getting hotel. So getting hotel is very simple. We are just getting the hotel ID, then we are getting the hotel object from the repository. Here we are getting the optional hotel and we are checking is the optional hotel containing the hotel object. If it is not containing, we are throwing this exception. If it is containing, then it will return the hotel object. Then we have the notification controller, and the notification controller is starting from the notifications. So it will tell like what all notifications has been sent to the customer. So we will just pass the booking ID and slash email. Then it will show us that this email notification has been delivered to the customer. So we are getting the booking ID. One more thing here, we are not using the path variable. So we need to pass the path variable annotation here for extracting the booking ID. Once we have got the booking ID, we will use the notification service dot get email notification. Okay, and here we are simply calling the repository. So you can see that we are getting the list of notification by booking ID. If you'll open this, it is just a simple optional object which is containing the list of email notifications. Once you have got the list of email notifications, we are just checking if the optional is empty or not. If it is empty, we are throwing the exception. If it is not empty, we are sending the list of email notification. And the same thing we are doing for the SMS notification. Okay, then we have this receptionist controller, and in the receptionist controller, what we are doing, we are first using the receptionist service for the business logic. Then we are using this receptionist service for injecting for the constructor injection. After we have injected this receptionist service in the registration, and once we have got all the properties in this object, we are calling the receptionist service dot add receptionist. So here you can see that we are creating a receptionist factory dot create method, which will be creating a receptionist object, and it will set all the parameter from the request object. And then we are creating the address from the address factory, and then we are saving this address to the receptionist, and then we are saving in the receptionist repository. Once it is saved, this method by default return the object. So it will return a receptionist object to the controller. And in the delete, we are simply using delete by ID. So in the repository, receptionist repository, we are going to call this method, and this will delete the receptionist object from the database. So for delete, we are using delete mapping here. Okay, and rest of the things are same. We are simply passing the OK method, and then we are using the object. Okay, and if there is some exception, then we are throwing the exception. For the room controller, we have lots of methods. So now we will understand the room controller. Room controller is starting from the slash rooms, and in the room controller for business logic, we are using the room service, and we are injecting this room service in the room controller. Then the first method is post mapping, which is used for adding rooms in the hotel. So let's see what is there in the parameters. So we are getting the room number, room type, hotel ID, amenities, and the price. So after we have got all this information, we are using room service dot add room here. Okay, and let's see what is there in the add room. So in the add room, first we are getting the hotel object from the hotel repository. Then we are creating a room by using the room factory, where we are passing the room number, room type, and price. Once we have got the room, we are saving the room, and then in the list of rooms of this hotel, we are adding that room. So first we are getting the list of rooms from the hotel. If the rooms are null, then we are creating a array list object for the rooms. Then we are adding that room in the hotel room, and then we are saving the room in the hotel, and then we are returning the room. So this was the first method. The second method is getting the room by passing the room ID. So here we are getting the room ID from this pass variable, and then we are calling this room service dot get room method. Okay, and here what we are doing, we are simply calling the find by id method in the room repository and getting the optional room. If the room is empty, then we are throwing room not found exception, else we are getting the room object by calling room.get and returning the room. The next method is deleting the room. So in a hotel, if we want to delete a room, then we are calling this method. We are using delete mapping, and then we are passing the room ID. We are getting the room ID by using this path variable. We are calling the room service dot delete room method, and then let's see what is there in delete room. So here we are simply calling room repository delete by ID. Ideally, we should have some kind of try and catch statement here. Okay, but you can use those try and catch statement here. If the room is not available, then you can throw some exception. You can simply delete the room. So if the room is deleted, we are sending this message to the customer, to the client, that room is deleted successfully, and we are throwing this exception. Next method is for getting all rooms by room type. So we are getting the room type from the UI. We are getting the room type from this path variable. Then we are calling room service dot get rooms by type. And here we are simply calling the room repository find by room type method. So if you'll open this, it is nothing but an optional on the list of rooms. So once we have got the optional list of rooms, we are simply checking if the list is empty or not. If the optional is empty or not. If the optional is empty, it means we did not find any room for this given room type. Else, what we are doing, we are sending the list of rooms to the controller. The next method is all method, which will be returning all rooms. So here we are not passing any parameter. We are simply saying that get all rooms from this hotel. So we are using the room service dot get all rooms method, and then here we are just calling room service dot find all method. The next is booked rooms, means it will get all the rooms in the hotel which are currently booked. So here also we are not passing any parameter. We are just using the slash booked endpoint, and then we are calling room service dot get booked rooms. And here inside this get booked rooms, what we are doing, we are getting the optional list of rooms by using the room repository find by availability status, where the status is occupied. So if the availability status of any room is occupied, it means that room is booked. So inside this method, we are simply getting the optional list of rooms. Then we are setting that list of rooms in the response entity and sending it to the client. The next is get mapping available. It will return all the rooms which are currently available. So it is same as the previous method, but just one change is we are just finding all the rooms by the availability status as available, and rest of the things are same as the get booked room methods. Now the next method is available for date range. So in this method, we are passing the start date and end date, and based on those dates, we are getting the list of rooms. So here you might have noticed one thing, we are not passing anything in the URL. Okay, where we are passing that in the query parameter. Means the URL would be something like this: question mark, start date and end date. So this will come in the URL, and our Spring framework will be using request param to find the query parameters, and then it will extract those methods in the start date and end date. So once we have got the start date and end date, we are just calling the room service get available room for dates, and here we are using the booking repository find by date range. But find by date range is not a method. What we are doing is we are creating our own JPA method. So we are using this query which is performing on the booking object. So select asterisk from the booking B, means booking is our booking class and B is the alias for booking, and then we are checking that B's check-in date is greater than equal to 1 or not. 1 is the first parameter, which is start date, means check-in date should be greater than the start date, greater than or equal to start date, and B dot checkout date means booking checkout date is less than parameter 2, means end date. So if booking check-in date is greater than or equal to start date, and booking checkout date is less than or equal to the end date, and booking status equal to 0. Now what is booking status equal to 0? It means, let's open the booking object, and booking object has this status property, and 0 is the first property. It means booked. So the status means booked. So it will return the list of bookings whose check-in date is greater than the start date, checkout date is less than the end date, and which are booked. Then it will return that list of bookings. Okay. So bookings means it is the list of the booked rooms. Now here we have to find the available rooms for the given date. But what we have found here? We have found the booked rooms. So let's see how we will find the available rooms. So in the next line, we are getting all the rooms. Okay, room repository dot find all means we are getting all the rooms. If bookings is empty, means the booked rooms are empty, then we are returning all the rooms, because if no room is booked means all rooms are available. But if booking is not empty, means we have the booked rooms, then we are creating the two array list. One is available rooms array list and one is the booked rooms array list. So here what we are doing is we are just setting the booked rooms. We have created two objects. One is available rooms, which is an array list, and one is booked rooms, which is an array list. So from the booking object, we are getting the room booking, and in each room booking, we have got the room. Okay, so we are setting all those rooms in the booked rooms, and then once we have got the booked rooms, the second thing is we will iterate from all the rooms. Okay, and we will check that the room is available in the booked rooms or not. If the room is not available in booked rooms, it means that is available room, and we will add that room in the available rooms list. Okay, so we are iterating all the rooms one by one. We are checking it if they are in the booked rooms or not. If they are not in the booked rooms, it means they are available rooms. So we have got all the available rooms, and then we are returning the available rooms. So once we have got all the available rooms, we are simply setting them to the response entity.ok method, and then we are returning it to the client. If there is an error, then this method will be executed with the HTTP status code as internal server error. So yeah, that's the controller directory in our application. Okay, so now we will understand how the test cases are working, and are they covering the entire application or not. So in the test directory, we have this package com stupid designer and machine coding. So here we have base test, and in the base test we have to annotate the test class as Spring Boot test, and then we annotate it by using dirty context. Now what is dirty context? So in Spring Boot application, we are saying that after each test, the application context become invalid, and it has some values which may not be useful for the next test. That's why we are saying the application context to dirty context. Okay, so we are annotating it by dirty context, and we are using the after each test method type, means context will be considered as dirty after each test method. So every test will be using its own application context and ignore the previous application context. So here we are using all the controllers and the repositories, and then we are setting up our application by using the default values. So first we are creating a hotel. Okay, and we are passing name, street, city, state, country, and pin code. We are creating a request object, and then we are passing it to controller, and it will return as the response entity class from where we are getting the hotel object. In the same way, we are creating the room where we are passing hotel ID, room number, room type, price, and amenities. And then we are creating a request DTO. Then we are passing it to our controller and getting the room object. Here we are creating multiple rooms for testing our application. Okay. Then we are creating multiple booking. So for booking, what do we need? We need the customer ID, we need the room IDs, check-in date, and check-out date. So from this, we will create the book rooms request DTO, okay, and room with guest DTOs. So we will get all these DTOs. We will pass it to book rooms controller, and then we will get the book rooms response DTO, okay. And from this book rooms response DTO, we will get the booking ID. That booking ID, we will pass the booking repository, pass in the booking repository and get the booking object. So from all this information, we are creating a booking, then we are creating multiple room booking. We are setting those room booking object in the booking object, and then we are returning the booking object from the booking repository. The next method is register customer, which is used for registering the customer, where we are passing username, first name, last name, email, phone number, and all the other information. We are creating a request DT object, sending this request DT object to our controller, which will return us the customer object. Okay, so this is the basic setup for the test of our application. Now let's see how we are testing our application. So here the first test is test add hotel. So we are testing whether the add hotel functionality is working fine or not. So we are passing this information to create hotel object. It will return us a hotel object, and then we are checking whether the hotels get ID has some value or not. If it has some value, then it will pass, else it will fail. Then we are checking the hotel name. So hotel name should be hotel 1, because we are passing hotel 1 as the hotel name. Okay, so this is the first test. Then in the second test, we are testing add room is working or not. So we are passing all the information to create hotel method. Here it will create a hotel. Okay, then we are creating multiple rooms in that hotel by passing the hotel ID, and then we are getting all the rooms from the controller. Okay, in this hotel we are passing all the rooms from the controller, and then we are checking how many rooms we have created. So rooms dot size equal to 12, because we have created 12 rooms. Let's see we have created 12 rooms or not. So you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have created 12 rooms. That's why we are checking the room size is equal to 12 or not. Now we are checking that first room is of type family or not. Then we are checking that first room, index 0 means first room, is of type family or not. So let's see, let's check the first room. So first room is of family type. Second room is of deluxe type, and third room is of suite type. So family, deluxe and suite for 0, 1 and 2 index. Okay. Then we are testing the search room functionality is working fine or not. So for that we are creating a hotel. We are creating 12 rooms with that hotel, and then we are getting all the rooms by type family. Okay. So let's see how many rooms we have of family type. So family type has 4 rooms. Okay, so we have 4 rooms which is of type family. So we are checking the size. So the room size is equal to 4. Then we are checking the first room is of type family or not. Okay, so the first room is of type family. We have already seen that. Okay, so here we can see first room is of room type family. Then we are checking the register customer is working or not. So we are passing all the parameters for registering a customer. Then we are checking that the customer which has been created by our application has some ID available or not. Okay, by using this not null operation. Then we are checking the first name of the customer is equal to Sanjay or not. So username is Sanjay1954, but the first name is Sanjay. Okay. Then we are checking the book room functionality. So for book room functionality, we are first creating the hotel. We are creating multiple rooms in the hotel. We are creating the customer, and then we are creating the booking, and the booking will be of 3 rooms. 1L, 2L, 3L means first room, second room and third room. Okay, the booking is from 5th day from now to 10th date. Okay, now we are checking that booking ID is equal to 1 or not. Since we are creating only one booking, the booking ID should be 1. Then we are checking the room booking size. So since we are passing 3 rooms here, the size should be equal to 3. Okay, and the status should be initiated, because we have just created the booking. We have not done any payment here. Then we are passing the payment related information like the booking ID, then the bill amount, then how we are paying it. After that, we are creating a payment for the booking. Once we have created the payment for the booking, we are getting the booking again by using booking controller get booking, and then we are checking the booking status. Now the booking status should be booked. So you can see earlier here it was initiated because we had just created the booking. Now after the payment, the status of the booking should be booked because we have completed the booking. Now in this method we are checking cancel booking functionality is working or not. So we are checking with the notifications also. So for that, first we are creating hotel, then we are creating rooms in it, then we are creating a customer, then we are creating a booking. For that we are checking the booking values, the how many rooms we have booked, the ID of the booking is not null, the status of the booking. So all the flow till here is same. Okay, after then we just want to do the cancellation. So we are cancelling the booking by passing the booking ID. Then we want to check that booking status is cancelled or not. So we are getting the booking and we are checking the status. Cancelled booking get status equal to cancelled. Okay. So we have checked the cancellation. Now what we want to check? We want to check the notifications are working correctly or not. So once the status of the booking is changed, a notification will already be triggered and it will be saved in our database. So we are checking from notification controller with that booking ID. Have we sent any email notification? So that object we are getting here. So we are getting the list of email notifications. Okay. Then the list of email notifications should not be null. Should not be null because we have sent the notification by using the observer pattern that we have seen. Okay. So email notifications should not be empty. So email notification is empty is equal to false. And the email notification size is equal to 2. Why the size is equal to 2? Because two notifications haven't triggered to customer. First when we book the room and second when we cancel the room. Then in the email notification, we want to check the booking ID. The booking ID should be same. Then in the email notification, we want to check the email which should be same. Okay. So this is for the first notification when we book the hotel. And then we are checking the same thing for the SMS notification. Okay. So the flow is very similar to the email notification. Then we are checking the bill generation. So for that we have created hotel, we have created multiple rooms inside it, we have created a customer, we have created a booking for that. After we have created a booking, we will check the booking has any bill associated with it or not. So this we are checking by using is not null method. Okay. And then we are checking what is the bill amount. So whatever the bill amount we have, that will be calculated based on the strategy design pattern, but it should be always greater than 0.0. Then we are checking test booking notification. So test booking notification, I think this we have already seen in the test cancel booking with notification message. Okay. So here we have done for cancellation and here we are just doing for the booking of any room. So this is very similar to that one. The next is test booking history. So here for a given customer, we want to check the history of the booking. Okay. So here we have created a hotel, we have created multiple rooms in it, we have created a customer, then we are creating a booking for that. After then we are paying for that booking. Once the payment is done, we are creating another booking and this booking will be for room number 4 and 5. Okay. Then we are paying it by card. Then here what we are doing, we are just checking from this customer Sanjay 9054 how many bookings we have. Okay. So we have created 2 bookings. So we are getting the list of bookings here and we are checking the size and the size should be equal to 2. The ID of the first booking should be equal to booking 1 ID. The ID of the second booking should be equal to booking 2.id. Then we have the next test is for test room availability. Okay. We are creating a room, we are creating we are creating a hotel, we are creating multiple rooms inside that hotel. Then we are creating a customer, we are creating book 1 for which we are paying by UPI. Then we are checking the available rooms for the date. So for first date to 4th date we are checking the available rooms. Okay. And the size of the rooms should be equal to 9. So why the size should be equal to 9? Because we have booked 3 rooms, a room with ID 1, a room with ID 2 and room with ID 3 from 1st to 3rd date. Okay. We are booking from 1st to 3rd date means 1st day from now to the 3rd day from now. Okay. So we are booking 3 rooms. As we all know, total number of rooms are equal to 12 in our application which we have created by using create multiple rooms. So we have booked 3 rooms from first day from now to third day from now. Now we are checking the available rooms from first day to fourth day. Since we have 12 rooms in our test cases and 3 rooms we have booked from 1 to third day. So this is overlapping, right? From first day to fourth day we want to see the available rooms, but from first day to third day 3 rooms are already booked. So we are left with 9 rooms. But what happens if we want to check from 15 days to 22 days? So since 15 days to 22 days, all the rooms are available, we are left with 12 rooms. So we are checking it by assert that room size is equal to 12. So it will check whether the available rooms are 12 or not. Okay, so these are a test. Now let's run our test. So how do you run our test? Just click here in the class and click run hotel management test. So you can see that all the test cases are passing. So this is covering our entire application test cases. So that's it from this video. See you in the next video.